family's missing child found years later, but the truth is even darker. It was a warm spring afternoon when the Parker family's world shattered. 7-year-old Ethan Parker was last seen playing in his backyard in the small town of Fairhaven. His mother, Jenna, had stepped inside for just a moment. When she returned, Ethan was gone. No sign of a struggle. No footprints. Just a toy truck tipped over in the grass, spinning slowly. The community rallied. Flyers went up. Volunteers combed the nearby woods. Local news stations broadcast his photo daily. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the leads dried up. The case grew cold and the town slowly returned to routine, leaving the Parker family in a haze of grief and unanswered questions. 10 years later, Jenna Parker received a call that stopped her heart. "We believe we found your son." A teenager matching Ethan's age and description had turned up at a youth shelter 2 states away. He claimed to have escaped a man who had kept him in isolation for as long as he could remember. DNA confirmed it. It was Ethan. The reunion was tearful but strained. Ethan was withdrawn, quiet, and mistrustful. Therapy helped him slowly open up. He remembered little of his early childhood, only fragments of a dark room, a locked door, and a man who fed him but rarely spoke. The police began investigating, using Ethan's vague memories to search for the man responsible. The public rallied behind the Parkers once again, cheering for their miraculous reunion. But as investigators dug deeper, cracks in the story began to form. A breakthrough came when authorities tracked down the cabin Ethan had described. Hidden deep in the woods, it had clearly been used for more than just one child. Fingerprints, old belongings, a locked basement door. What they found beneath the cabin shattered any remaining hope of a simple resolution. Multiple sets of child-sized shoes. A wall covered in faded photos of children. Some were missing persons still listed in the database. Others had never been reported at all. The man who had kept Ethan captive wasn't a stranger. He was a distant relative of the Parkers, a reclusive uncle who had attended Ethan's birthday party the week before he vanished. A man no one suspected. A man who used family gatherings to study his victims. Ethan had never been the only one. The revelation shattered the town of Fairhaven. Families reopened old wounds. Investigators reopened long cold cases. The Parkers struggled with the paradox of joy and grief having their son home, but knowing the cost. Ethan, now 17, began speaking publicly about his experience. Not just for himself but for the others. He helped law enforcement identify more victims. His courage ignited a national conversation about overlooked cases, the failure of early investigations, and the silent trauma of child survivors. 1 year later, Ethan stood before a crowd at a community vigil, candles flickering in memory of the lost. He held his mother's hand tightly. "I was taken," he said, "but I was not broken." Because sometimes, even in the darkest corners, a voice survives to speak the truth.